Casey.
What's up, State Theater?
I'm just gonna make you awkwardly come out here by yourself.
Let's party. Yeah, we had an idea for one of us to just stay in the back with our mic on, and the other one just talk to the
Talk
basket.
through the basket. There is something in this basket, though.
There is something in the basket.
You'll see what it is later in this movie.
Yeah, you will.
But tonight's movie that we were talking about, first of all, is Basket Case, as you see there. How many people have watched this movie before? So about half of the crowd has watched this before. We're pretty excited for this. This has been one of those, like, perennial, what should we play for a late night movies? Basket Case has always been on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. Who here went to the Brain Damage late night? Yeah, we got some Henenlotter fans in here. Yeah, Brain Damage and Basket Case are both kind of in the same vein. If you've seen Brain Damage and you haven't seen Basket Case, that's a good indicator of what to expect.
Yeah, this movie is directed by Frank Henenlotter, as you said, Sam, who also made Brain Damage that they played, I don't know, that was about a year ago here at the State Theatre. Henenlotter is also known for Basket Case 2 and 3 that he did as well, and then Frankenhooker. Any Frankenhooker fans in the crowd? Yeah, Steven Frankenhooker late night.
Super proud.
Noted.
So a little like trivia on Basket Case before we jump into this movie, because this movie kind of has a wild and crazy backstory. Obviously, if you're looking at this up here and you see XXX movies and girls, and XXX movies there as well.
Live news
show.
for
We're not doing that
25
tonight.
cents.
We're not doing that tonight. It's going to cost a lot more than 25 cents if we're going to do that. But so this movie takes place in sleazy, gross New York City, 1982. This movie was released April 2nd of 1982. So this comes right off like the heels of like all of us know about like the 70s New York City, and like the city was just tagged with like graffiti everywhere. You had the Son of Sam like running around New York City, so everybody's like just petrified, terrified to go out in the streets. And then you had stuff like this on every street corner in New York City.
In 70s New York City, you got killed by people, but in 80s New York City, you got killed by gremlins.
Something in there.
Yeah.
Something in there.
Yeah, something in there. Yeah, the title comes from like Frank Henenlotter just brainstorming dumb title ideas, and he came up with the title Basket Case, and it made him giggle because he thought of a little killer in a basket. And then he played with the idea of making it a killer in a Jack-in-the-Box, and thankfully dropped that and went back to the basket thing.
The basket idea is a much, much better idea than a killer Jack-in-the-Box. Sorry, Charles Band.
Yeah.
This movie was originally X-rated, as you can probably tell by what we're about to watch here in the next couple minutes. This is cut down to, this is the uncut version.
Yeah.
So like you're not going to see too much that you won't see in any other R-rated late night type of movie. There is some gross stuff with our perennial character, with our little friend in this. Just a warning on that. This movie was made on a $16,000 to $35,000 budget. There's conflicting reports on actually how much this movie cost. From what I could find, Frank Henenlotter would throw $16,000 of his own life savings into it, and then get investors to pay him back, and then put that $16,000 back into the movie again. Thus, how we get to our roughly $35,000-ish budget for this movie.
It was filmed mostly in guerrilla style. In fact, most of the credits that you're going to see at the end of this movie, not actual people that worked on this movie. They just wanted the credits to look longer, so they just filled them out with fake names.
This movie had, I think, 5 or 6 people behind the scenes.
5 or 6 people on the crew of this movie.
Most of the puppeteering for this movie was done by Frank Henenlotter himself, and then one of the other crew members, like 7-year-old daughter, who helped with the puppeteering because the puppet like shrunk and she was the only one that could fit her hand inside the weird little puppet.
Which, when you see what the puppet does in certain scenes, it's morally questionable.
I don't think she did that scene.
I hope not.
I hope not. Oh, one other thing with like the guerrilla style filmmaking of this, they actually use leftover pizza that they had for the crew the next day as like some of the special effects in this and some of the gross out stuff is what I heard on this. So.
And it's effective. It's good. Yeah.
Another person who has made an appearance here at the State Theatre before, the one and only Joe Bob Briggs, who was at that Joe Bob Briggs show. Yeah, Late Night Toast, Joe Bob Briggs. He's actually the reason we're standing right here right now. Not only because we're also technically horror hosts, but he's the reason there's an uncut version of Basket Case still alive. He was the one that would tour with this movie and bring it around even without Frank Henenlotter knowing it. And he's really the one that like championed, hey, this is a movie you need to watch. It's on that Rocky Horror style of watch this in the theater with a crowd, have a blast with it, and he was a real champion for this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. He also does really good walking in heels. Anytime you hear a woman walking in heels in this movie, it's actually Frank Henenlotter walking in heels. A man of the people.
He is a man of the people. So the last little thing I have before we do some actual trivia questions that we're going to ask to you guys to get some responses out of you, see if you guys know a little bit about Basket Case before we start. This is not part of New York City's Museum of Modern Art. This is a work of art, people.
It's art.
You're going to watch art tonight. Not Art the Clown, a different type of art.
So when people ask you what you did at 10:30 on a Friday night, you can be like, I went to the art house cinema and watched an art house flick.
Because Basket Case is art house cinema. All right, Sam, should we get to our trivia questions for the audience?
We should get to the trivia. Now, just, raise your hand, we'll point at you, you shout out the answer, you get it right, at the end of the screening, come out to our table, and we've got little prizes for you that you can pick out.
And we can actually see you guys a lot better on the stage than down there. It was blinding down there, but we can see you guys a lot better up here. So I'll start off with the first trivia question. Speaking of director Frank Henenlotter, what other Frank Henenlotter movie, we named all of them, just we threw that out there already, outside of Basket Case, features star of this movie, Kevin Van Hetten. How do you say this guy's name? He's got a weird name.
Kevin Van Hetten?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What other movie features him with a basket and a cameo role?
Basket Case 2.
In the back.
Yeah.
Brain damage. He does have a cameo on a, I believe it's a subway, brain damage.
Yeah, he's in the subway scene. This one's a little tricky one, maybe. I don't know. Someone's gonna get this right away now that I said that. Henenlotter loved this cola brand so much that he got a sponsorship from them in later movies. Any hands? Any hands?
It's not Coke or Pepsi.
It is not RC. Not Dr. Pepper.
Think 80s soda.
Yeah. This might shock you. Not Tab.
The other one. Jolt.
Jolt!
Oh my gosh, 2. I guess you're gonna get 2. Jolt Cola was something that he lived off of on the sets of these movies, so much so he got the sponsorship from Jolt Cola.
Jolt Cola, which Casey actually told me still exists apparently.
Barely, because of these movies. So last question then. Basket Case was the inspiration for this 2021 James Wan film. Malignant.
Yeah.
That is correct. So if anyone has seen Malignant, Malignant is James Wan's version of Basket Case.
Yeah. And this is Frank Henenlotter's version of Basket Case, which we're so excited for you all to watch.
Who's ready for Basket Case?
Who's ready?
All right, again, we are Screams from the Basement. That's Sam. I'm Casey. Stop at our booth afterwards, pick up your prizes, talk to us about our podcast. We have new episodes each and every Friday, so we just dropped one today as well, and we do interviews and we do double features, and come check us out. It's a fun time, just like this movie. So hope you all enjoy.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.